Welcome to my kitchen. Today I wanted to teach you how to make tinga. And tinga, in case you don't know what it is shredded chicken in like a tomato-y chipotle sauce. And today I wanted to top it on tostadas with a lot of different kinds of ingredients. So if you're interested in learning, come on and follow me and let's get started with the ingredients. Okay, so for the ingredients for the tinga, we are going to use different ingredients for a few different things, and right now it might kind of sound a little bit confusing, but as I go on and cook you will see the ingredients that I will be using for each of the things. And as always, I will list these ingredients in the description box below. For our chicken, in order to poach our chicken and give it a little bit of flavor, we are going to use 1/4 of an onion and 1 garlic, and we're gonna put that into the water so that it gives it a little bit of flavor along with some salt. And then for our sauce, we are going to use 1 to 1.5 roma tomatoes, 1/4 of an onion, and 1 to 2 garlic cloves depending on what you like. These here are very small, so I think it counts as 1. And then I bought 1 12-ounce can of the chile peppers and adobo sauce, and I usually don't use the whole thing. I use about 1/3 of it, so about 4 to 6 ounces. That's 1/3 to 1/2 if you want to use that. Depending on how spicy you want it, you can add more, or you can add a little bit less than that. Okay, then afterwards, for when we are trying to put all of the ingredients together in the pan and saute everything together, we are going to saute half an onion sliced with 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. And moving on to the toppings for the actual tostadas, we are going to use 2 tomates, 2 roma tomatoes, an onion, avocado, lettuce, sour cream, queso fresco, and a tomatillo sauce. And for that tomatillo sauce, I made a video for that today. If you want to check it out, I will link the video in the description below. And then of course we'll be using tostadas. Any pre-packaged tostadas will do, or you can make your own with corn tortillas. I will not be doing that today. And then just to season the tinga, I will be using chicken bouillon. And of course, I need chicken for the tinga, so I will be using 2 chicken breasts. The first step to make the tinga is to poach or boil in water the chicken breasts. And this is where I'm going to put the onion and the garlic to give it a little bit more flavor and a little bit of salt. But first, I need to slice the chicken because they're kind of thick and I want them to cook a little bit quicker, and that's why I'll be chopping them up, slicing them up. Okay, so now that our chicken is sliced, I'm going to add a little bit of salt in here. And I'll be adding in the chicken. Wash your hands. So now I need to peel and cut the onion that I'm going to put in here, and also the garlic. And this is going into the pot. The onion, we're going to cut it in half. and then that half into quarters. And this is going into the pot with the chicken. Okay, so our chicken, we are going to let it cook for about 15 minutes on just below medium heat. Not medium low, a little bit less than medium. We're gonna let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we're gonna check and see how it looks. But what I want it to do is to be so soft that when we start shredding it with the forks, it just kind of falls apart on its own. And while our chicken is cooking, let's get started on our sauce. Okay, so in the blender, we are going to put 1.5 tomatoes, and I cut these in quarters, so I'm gonna put those in. Sorry, 2 tomatoes, 2 roma tomatoes. The 2 garlic cloves, and the quarter onion. And then we are going to add the chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Okay, so I'm going to add about 1/3 to half of the peppers. Like I said, if you don't want it that spicy, you can add a little bit less, or you can add a little bit more if you want it more spicy. But let me grab a fork so that I can add some of the actual peppers in here. So actually I ended up using about half of that. So now I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of water so that this can blend. We are going to blend it until it's completely smooth because I'm not going to strain it. And this is all the sauce that we're going to use for our tinga. We're going to set that aside. So while our chicken is still cooking, we are going to start chopping up some of the ingredients for the toppings. Okay, so we are going to chop up the things that we need for the topping. We are going to dice the tomatoes, and we're going to dice the onion. And the avocado, I usually just slice that up, and I will show you how I do that. And then I shred the iceberg lettuce, and I will also show you how I do that. So it's been about 45 minutes now that I've been cooking my chicken. I've been checking it throughout just to see how soft it is, and like I said, I want it to be so soft that if I start shredding it, it'll just kind of fall apart. So it looks like it's about ready to shred, and I'm just going to turn it off and let it cool off for a little bit and continue on chopping my veggies. First, we want to start off with a clean lettuce, so that means some of the top layers are going to be a little bit damaged. So I usually take off 1 to 3 of the layers before I start chopping it. And that should be enough lettuce for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in a container with water, and that'll kind of rinse anything off and kind of keep it fresh for a little bit before I serve it. So now moving on to the onion that we're going to need for the sautéing. And we're going to cut half, and we're going to use half of the onion to sauté. We're going to remove the top layer. As always, you don't want that waxy top layer. Okay, now we're going to cut off the stem, and we're going to start slicing it like this. And that's how we're going to use it. So you can either do it this way, or do it kind of like in half of the ringlets like this. Like this. Either way, I like mine sliced this way. But either way would work for the rest. And now we are just going to dice the rest of the onion that I have left over here and the tomatoes. Now we are going to shred the chicken. Okay, so one thing I do want to say is when you take your chicken out, I'm going to put it into another container so that I'm able to shred it either using your hands if it's not too hot, and if it's hot, use 2 forks. But don't throw away the broth because you just made a chicken broth, and now you can use that to make rice or soups or anything else. What I like to do is I like to put it into a different container with a lid and then put it into my freezer and then thaw it out whenever it is that I need it. So today I'm not going to make any rice or any sides to go along with the tostadas. So I will save that for another day during the week when I have to make rice. And you can substitute that for the water. So instead of water, you can use this broth. Okay, so now our chicken is completely shredded, and now we're going to begin and saute everything and mix everything together so that it becomes tinga. So now what we're going to do is in a pan we are going to saute our onions, and we're going to turn it on to medium heat, and we are going to add about a tablespoon of grapeseed oil or just any oil that you like. In order for us to saute those onions. We're going to let the oil heat up for a few seconds and go our onions. And then we are going to add that half a teaspoon of oregano. And this is kind of full, so I'm going to put it in the palm of my hand and just crush it with my other hand. Okay, so now they are starting to become translucent, and now I can add in my sauce. So another tip is if you don't want all of the sauce going in, you can add half of the sauce that you made, and it won't be as spicy either. If you don't add all of the sauce, you can add the broth that we had previously from the shredded chicken, so that you can have enough sauce to cover all of the shredded chicken. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to season my sauce, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of the chicken bouillon. I'm going to bring down the heat to about medium-low, and I'm going to give the sauce a try and see how spicy it is. And this will let me know whether I want to add in more of the sauce or just leave it as is and add more broth. I'm going to add in the rest of my sauce because that is not spicy. Or at least to me it's not that spicy. So I think in total it's about 3 cups of sauce. And I'm going to try that again just to make sure that the seasoning is still okay. That's yummy. So after letting the sauce kind of heat and simmer for about a minute or two, I'm going to add in my shredded chicken and leave it to cook for maybe another 5 to 10 minutes. And now we're gonna fold the chicken into the sauce. We're gonna make sure that all of the chicken is completely covered with it. This is kind of the consistency that we are looking for tinga. So, as you can see, there is enough sauce to cover the chicken, but there's no puddles. So we're just gonna let it cook for about another 5 minutes. So as you can see, it's an easy recipe, but it is very time consuming. So I think in total, it's probably about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes to make this dish. But it is a really good dish, and it is worth that hour to an hour and 10 minutes because it's so good. I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite dishes to make. And oh, my mouth is watering. And to eat because it is so, so good. Okay, so the tinga is ready, and now let's get a tostada ready. Let me show you how I do it. So I take a tostada, and then I take sour cream, and I layer sour cream on the bottom of the tostada. And then I take some of the tinga, and then I put it right on top. Next, I like to add some lettuce, some onion, and I like dicing my onion just because I can get a little bit of the onion in every bite. And then some tomato, and if you like avocado, you can put some avocado slices on top. And then some queso fresco. And of course, some tomatillo salsa. And I like mine with a lot of salsa. Okay, for the true taste test, I'm gonna ask my husband to taste it.
It's good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
¿Qué le hace falta?
What?
No?
Mm-hmm. Well. Just, could I finish it?
Can I have a bite?
Fine.
Everything's like falling apart. Oh my god. So good. Oh my god. I don't know if it's because I'm hungry or what, but that's good. Alright guys, we gotta eat. We're hungry. I hope you like this video, and if you try it, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It'll let me know that you guys like my content, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Adios.